We just got the second trailer for Sonic 3, and it really helps build that dark tone that the first trailer set up. With the movie now less than a month away from release, I think that this will most likely be the last trailer that we get, which in my opinion is pretty good, as I don't want too much to be given away. Even with that being said, this trailer gives us a lot to chew on and speculate about, but it still manages to keep its secrets close to its chest. So join me as we dig into this trailer together. But before we get any further, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more Sonic news and lore. And with that out of the way, let's begin. The trailer begins with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails in the Chao Garden Cafe in Japan. Knuckles starts making fun of Tails for looking like Detective Pikachu, which is pretty funny since the style of CGI for both movies is pretty similar. I guess since hanging out with Wade and his family, Knuckles has started immersing himself more in human culture and watching more movies and shows. Otherwise, I feel like Knuckles wouldn't really know anything about Pokemon. There is a lot of Chao merch here at this cafe, from the shirts the kids have on to their hats and so on. I really hope that at some point some of this merch will become available after the movie releases. What was really funny to me is that while Knuckles was teasing Tails, the girl in the background seems to have a backpack with a Knuckles Chao on it. After the antics from Knuckles, the power in the Chao Cafe goes out and Eggman's drones attack. We can see Commander Walters here with Sonic in this shot, and I believe that this attack is going to take him out of commission, which will possibly set the stage for Kristen Ritter's character to take over Gun. Then we get a look at Shadow. The first shot we see is him in Tokyo completely surrounded by gun agents. I think it's a high possibility that this is where the explosion in the first trailer happens. After that, we cut to what might be my favorite shot of this trailer. It appears to be Gerald Robotnik in a prison jumpsuit, and he's looking at a chalkboard where he's drawn up plans for the Eclipse Cannon. So it seems that after the raid on the Ark, or however that's going to play out in the movie universe, Gunn never executed Gerald. Instead, they may have put him in a high security prison hidden away somewhere. I wonder if Gunn was using him to draw up a super weapon for them while keeping him locked up. It's likely that they also erased Gerald's records and informed his family that he was dead, because Eggman in the first trailer was very surprised to see him alive. So I think that Shadow is going to be involved in busting him out. But it's interesting that Gerald seems to be making plans for the Eclipse Cannon while imprisoned by Gunn, whereas in the game universe, Gerald had designed it and implemented it long before he was detained by them. The trailer gives us more lines with Gerald, and I think it's pretty clear at this point that he and Eggman are going to be the main antagonists of this film, and this is going to be a huge problem for Sonic and his friends. Going up against Eggman alone was a huge undertaking, but now that there are two geniuses plotting against them, they really have their work cut out for them. During the scene where Sonic's chained up, he realizes that Eggman has help this time around, which makes me curious if this scene will take place after Shadow beats the three of them in Tokyo, since we also see that both Knuckles and Tails are still knocked out. Then Shadow drops a device that opens a black hole, and I think that whatever this thing is, it was created by Gerald Robotnik. There's also a really good shot of Eggman's suit from the last movie, and it is extremely battered. I'm guessing that this is a result of the last encounter that Eggman had with Sonic, and that didn't really end up going well for him. Knuckles is able to buy enough time for Sonic to get a ring portal out and take the three home before they get sucked into whatever that black hole thing is. Here we see Tom and Maddie, and we get a somewhat decent idea as to what these two have been up to since we last saw them. Maddie's wearing an apron that says "All or Muffin," and there's a lot of baked goods next to her, and in another shot we can see even more. So it seems that Maddie is either working for this baked goods company or has started it on her own. Meanwhile, Tom is wearing a knitted sweater that says Donut Lord and has a police badge on it. There seems to be a whole lot of crafts and puzzles laying about their house, so it seems to imply that Maddie and Tom have a lot of free time on their hands and they're looking for different ways to spend it. Possibly they got a big payout from the government for helping stop Robotnik, or perhaps with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails out of the house, they have a lot more time to themselves since they're not watching kids. Either way, it seems like the two of them are really bored. especially since when Sonic arrives asking for help, they reply that they're in right away. There's a really quick shot of all the humans in gun uniforms in London. From the first trailer, I had assumed that Tom was working with Gunn now, but I think that they might actually be infiltrating Gunn in this movie with the help of Randall. We still haven't seen anything from Kristen Ritter's character, Captain Rockwell, but I very much believe she's going to be an antagonist. So it's very possible that the human characters in this movie are going to have some subplot where they're in London breaking breaking into gun and somehow helping Sonic in that way. There's another quick shot in here which is kind of odd, but it seems that Tails is making himself a jetpack, possibly in order to help him keep up with Sonic, but it's still kind of weird because we all know that Tails is still pretty fast and can already fly. Next we get more focus on the villains and a few fast cuts, but there's a line from Eggman that I think is very important. Eggman talks about ruling over humanity. This is something that he stated he was very interested in after acquiring the Master Emerald in the second movie. However, Shadow says here that when they're all done, there will be nothing left to rule. These two conflicting lines make me believe that there might be a falling out between the two Robotniks. Gerald is very determined to get revenge on humanity for the death of Maria, but Eggman, he desires to rule over humanity. And I think that when Eggman realizes that his grandfather wants to destroy everything, the two might clash. As this dialogue is happening, we see the three of them take the Ark into space and use the Eclipse Cannon to cut part of the moon, which is totally crazy. I was hoping that they would make a reference to Eggman shooting the moon from Sonic Adventure 2, and they surpassed my expectations. This just looks so awesome. Towards the end, we get a shot of Maria and Shadow holding hands and sitting together, and this is very reminiscent of some of the Shadow flashbacks that we got from the Dark Beginnings prologue. I think throughout this film, we're going to see a few glimpses of his relationship with Maria from certain things that might trigger a memory of his. And these flashbacks that we get, I think are really gonna drive home why her death broke both him and Gerald so much. I'm really trying to figure out what the scene is here. We have our three heroes in a cornfield and it looks like something had just crashed. Sonic is hugging Knuckles, so it could be the case that Knuckles saved Sonic from falling and he might have caught him while gliding, but I'm not really sure. Let me know in the comments what you guys think the scene is. Finally, we get to see what everyone's been waiting for. We have Shadow with his gun and his bike, and to me it seems more like an energy gun that Shadow has, so I'm guessing that he got it off of a gun soldier. One more interesting shot that I want to focus on is this one of Agent Stone. He's looking up at something, presumably the Eclipse Cannon, but he's got dirt all over him and he's noticeably standing alone. Right now I'm wondering if Eggman is rolling with his grandfather Gerald and he feels like Agent Stone is kind of worthless at this point, so he's going to end up abandoning him. It also looks like one of the final battles is going to be between Sonic and Shadow on the moon while it's being destroyed, which I've got to say that might be the coolest fight in Sonic history. This trailer got me so excited for the movie, which, like I said, is now just a month away. Let me know what you guys thought about this trailer and how excited you are for it in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the video here for more Sonic lore. As always, I wish you all the best. Take care. Peace.